Mahalo everybody. This is the how to write an introduction for our 2.5 essays. The introduction is a really important part, as is the conclusion, because if you write an introduction that's good and also a conclusion that's good, it can actually add to your grades. In terms of the introduction, okay, the introduction is really important because it tells you or introduces the reader to what you're going to be talking about, which is essentially you are looking at critically examining the effect of the Cricket World Cup on yourself, others and society. Okay, but I don't want you just to write that, okay, because that's boring, but also that shows me that you haven't used your thought processes to create something, what do you call it, original. So you've got to find creative ways to do that, all right? Remembering also, as a reader, myself, I'm going to be reading 30 of these, okay? And if I'm reading all the same thing, it gets really boring, okay? So just for being kind to me, can you please make sure that you, can you come back, please, Pup?
I need to get a haircut.
Okay, can you come back later?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Where was I? Yep, so if you just make sure that you're doing me a favour by making them as creative as possible. Okay, I've posted my introduction in the stream as well, so you can have a read of it, and it's annotated. But here's I'll read it out for you now just quickly so that it gives you an idea what I've said, but also why I've said it. So the first thing I've said is the 2015 Cricket World Cup, full stop. Alright, so that introduced the reader straight away, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Hosted in New Zealand and Australia, full stop, okay? So it's, for me, it's quite an effective way of just bang, bang. What could be better, right? Alright, is what I say next. So that's setting it up as a question, so basically we're starting to look at the effect of it, alright? It has the obvious effect of bringing 14 of the world's best cricket teams to New Zealand and Australia to do battle, which has to be a positive for cricket lovers. Alright, so that's me giving some background into the for the reader, but also background into my knowledge of the Cricket World Cup, which you guys have from your background research at the beginning of the year. So that's a big hint. Then I go on to say Richard Hadley, in a New Zealand article previewing the tournament, so using research that you guys have, highlighted that there are also positives for others like business owners all over New Zealand due to the influx of tourists. So I'm starting to introduce the reader to what I'm going to potentially be talking about within the essay. Others. There's also been lots of preparation work going on into upgrading facilities like Hagley Oval, which has to be a positive for future generations. Right? Okay? So that's introducing the effect of society, or then I talk about society. And what about me? Okay? I like the game of cricket, but not that much. So this is where you get to be a little bit... use your, I suppose, creative license, because it's talking about you. I watch some games, but generally only tune in every now and then. I wonder, though, if the Cricket World Cup will become bigger than just cricket, like at the Rugby World Cup in 2011, where it was one big reason to party. So that's my kind of my narrative leading up into sort of the questions I'm posing and answering within my essay. And then this is where you actually state how you're going, the next section is how you state how you're going to actually examine it. So will the Cricket World Cup be the big success it has been made out to be? Okay, so that's the hook, right? That's the question that we're going to be answering, alright? In the paragraphs below, I will critically examine the effect of the Cricket World Cup on society, in brackets specifically the financial effects, groups of others in society, and myself, full stop. Alright, so what I've done there is I've introduced the topic, I've introduced that I'm going to be talking about society, others and me. I've posed a big question that I'll be critically examining, and then I've talked about actually how I'm going to do that in the essay, which is that final point. Alright, so you can use that structure, alright, but I don't want, as I said, I don't want 30 carbon copies of what I've said, or just 30 carbon copies of I will be critically examining the Cricket World Cup's effect on self, others, and society, full stop. Okay, so give it a benefit, and remember it can actually add to your grade. Alright, Thanks a lot, and once again, if you need to contact me, go through Google Classroom or Google Drive. Alright, catch you later.